Hey, hey, good afternoon. It's Monday. It's 1 p.m. and this is Dr. Joe Blake here with the virtual book club. It is high 1 p.m., not noon, but high 1 p.m. here in Goodyear, Arizona. And as always, I got some great information for you. As we embark on our 1 p.m. Virtual book club, you know what? Let me put this out here in the chat so anybody's out there that wanted to just chime in with your additional information, knowledge, wisdom, you can. Let's see here. If you want to come in and join, just want to give us your insight and wisdom as well. Again, we're going over the Book of Influence. I'll show you that a little bit. So I put it in the chat on my Facebook page. And let's see if I think I put it also here in YouTube. So if you want to come in and just share a little bit. So let me go ahead and get that PowerPoint up for us here. Boom. There we go. All right. So Virtual Book Club here, and let's get it going. All right. So that's the textbook we're going over here. The Book of Influence, Authentic Communication. And we're talking about a chapter from Amy Ming. She is a business coach for influencers, best-selling author, speaker, neuropath, yoga, and meditation teacher, and a wife and a mom of two. You can pick up the book and on Amazon, download it. I have it here. But her chapter talks about communicating with love. And we always love when you say that word love. It just makes you feel good when you hear it. But when I read the title, I was like, "Well, that sounds cool." Brothers are always talking about love. You know what I'm saying? Love. Oh yeah, love. And when I read through the article, it actually did grab me because she was sharing a story about her father when he passed away, and how sometimes when that happens in the family, communication just drops off of the face of the earth. So much turmoil and controversy that happens when a loved one passes away, especially like a father or a mother. It's like the patriarch of the family, and it's hard when that communication comes about. And I thought about my own mama. My mama was a lot of guys. Our mama's our heart. Our mama's not there. It kind of really is. I know for me, I lost my mom in 2012. I was like, really, that was my mama, man. My mama was my woman. So, this one of the first things she says is, she mentioned about like, why did her dad leave? And I was like, man, why did my mama leave me, man? I was like, oh, my mom, my girl. I did a lot of things. For me, I pushed my life, fulfilled my life, because I wanted to please my mother. That was the whole thing that I did, was to please my mother. And the author was talking about how she did things for her dad. And I think a lot of us have have experiences like that. We do things in our life for it could be for an uncle, could be for an uncle, could be a mother, father, could be for a grandmother. We do things, for that parent or for that grandparent, for the aunt and uncle in our lives. And when they leave us, we feel like, oh man, why did it go? There's something that we wanted to do, wanted to show them. And we feel when they leave, it's like, oh man, they left at the most critical time. And it's hard for us. My mom, she passed away a year before I finished my PhD. And for me, it was rough because every time when I graduated from junior high school, when I graduated from high school, when I graduated with my bachelor's, master's, every time I graduated, I would take my cap, my cap, and I put it on my mother's head, and I would take a picture of my mom with my cap and gown on. So I got pictures from my mom from when I graduated from junior high school, with her having my graduation cap on her head. And I did that because my mom had dropped out of school to have me. So she didn't finish school because she had me. My mom was a teenage parent. So was my dad. My dad was 19, and my mom was 17. They were teenage parents when they had me, and I was like, I've always felt. I said, you know what? Every time I graduate, my mom's graduating. And so when she passed away a year before I finished my PhD, I was like, oh man, I was so hurt, because I was like, I wanted my mom to come and walk across the stage for me, so she could pick up It didn't matter. It didn't matter to me. I was like, nope, nope. My mom was gonna get it for me, and she passed like a year before. So I was like, oh man, I was so hurt and I was upset about it. I was like, man, why does this happen to the brother? Why? So the author was sharing that about herself and how it was happening, and for her and her dad. So it was like, and that also caused some animosity with her family. So, one child didn't agree with her dad, and that caused some non-speaking in the family, and it is rough. Sometimes that those situations can be rough on the family when you have situations like that, and it could. I mean, how else can you say it? It's just rough. The other thing is, how can that someone's word be so powerful? How can one person's decision to speak change the course of someone's life? And you don't really catch it until it actually happens. And there's the communication like me and my mother had. There was one time when I was a little boy, and we was in Baltimore, North Avenue. And North Avenue, at the end of North Avenue was long. It's in the northern part of the city, but it's long. At the one end of North Avenue, at the end is a cemetery at the end of North Avenue, and it's with buses. You get off the bus there, and you can change and take a transfer and transfer to another bus stop. Well, my mom and my dad had broke up at that time, and my mom was hurt from that exposure and everything. And I'm a little self disclosure. Calm down. Everybody gonna survive on this one right here. But my mom wanted to take. She wanted to take her life, and I was a little boy. She was trying to. She was wanting to jump from her 18-wheeler and just end it all. And I was like, oh my god. I was like 7 or 8, like that. No, mama, you can't do that. No, no. I was actually physically doing my best to physically restrain my mom from doing that to herself. And I was like, oh no, mama, you can't do that. I said, mama, I'll be a good boy. You want to do this, that, and that. So I was like 7. Fast forward to she passed away in 2012, and I went to see her back in February of 2012, and she was in bad condition because she was cancer. My mom left because of cancer, and she was in a bed and didn't want to go to the hospital, and and her friend at the time, his name was Mr. Joe. My mom, Joe's was all of my mom's life. I was Joe, my dad was Joe, my son is Joe, grandson is Joe. Oh, Joe's all over. But so anyway, I laid down in the bed and I looked at my mother because she didn't want to get out of bed. She was in the bed a couple of days, and I just laid down and I said, "Look." I looked at my mom in the eyes and said, "Mama, you gotta let me be a good boy." But those words, when I said it to my mother, I know she went right back to North Avenue and said, "This boy is not letting me go." I was like, "No, she'll not." She didn't say this, but I know it went through her mind. She said, "Okay, let's go." So I was able to scoop my mom up and take her to the hospital in that February 2012. So we took her to the hospital in 2012, and while I was in the hospital, because I just came to see her to take care and make sure she was okay, and she told me, "You know what?" I told her, "Mama, I'm gonna go back because I gotta go back and do some things. I'm still doing my PhD." She said, "Okay." She said, "I'll be here Mother's Day," which is May of 2012. Sure enough, May 2012 came. I went back, got my wife, came back and brought my wife to Baltimore, and May of 2012 was like a perfect day. It was not hot, not cold, none of that stuff. And we came back to Baltimore, and that was Mother's Day. And I just sat on the front steps on McCullough Street with my mom. We had a perfect day. Young lady here, somewhat similar situation. But they were at the in the hospital where the father passed away, but they were able to talk to a younger couple at the hospital there, and they expressed their concerns about what they were having, and just one word that they got from a couple in their at the hospital, and how they felt about the difficulties they were having. And that one word that the gentleman shared with them helped them uh, make peace with what was happening with the family. And that one word helped them get to a better place. And so sometimes that one word, when you speak that one word and it comes from love, makes a world of difference. My mom said, I'll be here Mother's Day. And I was like, oh man, my mama said she's gonna be here Mother's Day. I believe her. So that was February. She was ill and didn't want to get out of bed. And I just said, hey mama, let me be a good boy. And boom. Now granted, I'm old. I'm not well, I'm 50 something, so I'm a grandfather. But I said, I'm still a little boy to my mama. I'm gonna be a good boy. And she was there. In their case, they spoke to young kids, like in their 30s. Well, I know if you're 30, you don't think you're a kid. I got that. But the other folks, you're a kid. No offense, but you're a kid. So um, sometimes you say the longest journey you'll ever make is the one from your head to your heart. Because those words of love can always be felt. Those words of love can always be felt. So when you communicate and it's going from your heart, from your head to your heart, people can feel you. People can understand where you're coming from. And when I'm quite sure when I told my mama, I said, Mama, let me be a good boy. She understood me. Because that was my life's mantra. I want to be a good boy. Not for anybody out there. I just want to be a good boy for my mama. Because that was my call. That's what God told me that I want to be a good boy for my mama. Now, somebody else benefit from it? Cool. And I'm not a perfect boy. I'm not perfect. I make my own mistakes. I make my own shortcomings. I have my own. But they're mine. Me and God, he be working with a brother because I ain't perfect. But for my mama, that is who I still do things based on how I feel about my mom and everything. And again, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I am, but I do things for my mama. If I slip up, I go pray. Okay, Lord, I missed the mark, bruh. I missed the mark, and that's how I talk to my God. That's how I talk to Him, and He makes a way out for me. Makes me fix, allows me to fix it. But when you communicate with love, people feel you. When you communicate with that aspect of how you're gonna get things for them, get things correct them. When you help others get what they need, then you get what you need. That's that communication of love. That's the communication of feeling that you're able to share and get with other people. So you got that, and it has to be genuine. And how do you know it's genuine? Someone will feel it. It's felt. You get that feeling, understanding. This. She's okay. She's all right. He's okay. He's all right because you feel it. That's a gut check. You feel it. Sometimes you feel things and you feel like, man, I feel it in my gut. This is in my gut. It's the Holy Spirit saying that it's okay. And you get the same thing feelings like, nah, this don't feel right. Something wrong. They all they are off, and that's the spirit telling you this person is absolutely not right, not playing with a full deck, and they kind of like a couple of marbles short. You know that, you feel that. So you speak from that heart, and you feel it, then you know it. You got it. And last thing there is everything works out in the end. Everything works out in the end. One of the things I'd asked my mom, I said, when before she left, I said, Mama, if you had to change anything in your life, if you had to change anything that you went through, I said, what would you change, Mama? I said, Mama, what would you change? What would you do differently? What would you do? What would you? I said, so I was waiting for, come like, it was in the hood, Baltimore, and she didn't have a big old crib like I got. She didn't have a Tesla, even though she bought 4 cars, no driver's license. But my mom didn't have those things. So like, okay, so I'm like waiting, man. I'm like, yep, it is. My mom gonna tell me what she. I was like, waiting for her, right? And my mama said, "What would you change, Mama?" She said, nothing. I wouldn't change nothing. She said, I enjoyed my life. Yep, I enjoyed it. The good, bad, and the ugly. I enjoyed it. And I said, oh man. Oh man, I'm like melting. I'm like, oh man, she enjoyed it. I was like, hold up a second. Hold on. I was like, hold up, Mama. I was there with you all my life, half of yours, but I was like, well, all my life. I know some things I for sure would have changed, Mama. You know, that's what I was like. You know what? All those things don't matter. All that she just enjoyed her life. She said she enjoyed going all the different bases I was at. She enjoyed going over to England to see me. My mom went all the way to London, England to see me and my son, my oldest boy, because my youngest son was in the belly. So she didn't get to see him. She didn't see them till later. But she came down here to Luke Air Force Base when I was stationed there. My mom enjoyed all of those things, and I'm glad I was able to do that for her. So hey, and sometimes that communication of love like that, her being able to say those things and share those things with me, that made me feel so much more better than anything that I ever received. That communication of love, and in the text in this chapter, that the one young guy, he told him, he said, "Hey, when you communicate with love, that feeling that you get, they people get that feeling." So she was able to go back and communicate that. What I think it was a husband go able to communicate it with their family, and their family was able to get back together because they communicated in love with love. Dad's gone. We love Dad. Dad gave us some information that makes us all together again. So he was gone, but he had put something in them that they can all relate to. So when they talked about the communication with that love, I understood that. I felt that. I absolutely felt that. So with that was again the action of financial literacy. And the reason why I keep telling you that is because that app right now, I already see it. It's going through the approval process through Google Play. I got that email the other day. Today, right before I got on here, I noticed that the Apple is at the Apple Store. Apple's got anywhere from 24 to 48 hours for that final approval to go through there too. And then, like I said, once they get the approval on both sides, they say go. I'm gonna call it download day, kind of like Groundhog Day. I'm gonna call it download day, and then I'll let everybody know to download it. So then you have the learning process then in the palm of your hand. There'll be some free information you'll be able to go through and just listen to and all that. And then I'll be able to load in all the classes you'll be able to sign up for and be able to learn things from the financial side. And it's direct from me. Direct from me, and you'll get oh man, you're gonna learn some stuff. Really learn some stuff. So again, this has been Dr. Joe Blake, and I'm here at the Virtual Book Club. We talked about communicating with love, and I hope you got something from what I've shared today. Have a great one. See you next time. Same channel, same place. And hey, it's just the way I roll.